Alright, Shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we like to begin this lesson by giving all glory, all praises, all honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Recha Chadash, Barakatum, giving double honors, double unto the apostles and elders of great millstone who surely do rule well. To the men standing by the highways and byways, pushing this doctrine, we like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
And even unto the sincere Akwat, the sisters who sit listening these lessons in silence, subjection, and obedience unto their husbands, we like to say Shalom.
Shalom.
It's a couple of brothers here,
Hanana.
Wa Maya Sha'ala, and we come to discuss tonight and to bring edification on Lord willing. This lesson is edifying, is the third part of our 4-part series detailing and breaking down the weapons of the Lord. First 2 parts we first went into the angels being a category of weapon that the Bible does discuss, detail and break down that the Lord has in his arsenal. And we then would have went into the chariots as well in part 2. Now we're going to go to his weapons of mass destruction, as you see pulled up here in the online methodology. All by the way. His nuclear missiles. And yes, we're talking about the nukes, the ICBMs, the intercontinental ballistic missiles, the hypersonic missiles you see these nations using today. Those are actually weapons that belong to the Lord, and we're going to bring edification on that. But we're going to start with this definition here. Go ahead.
Weapons of mass destruction. The nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons are tested by 1946, apparently first used in Russian by the Soviets. The term weapons of mass destruction and WMD means chemical, biological, and nuclear weapons, and chemical, biological, and nuclear materials used in the manufacture of such weapons.
Alright, good. There's some war and national defense. Right. So we understand here the weapons of mass destruction, the nuclear, biological, and chemical weapons that are currently in the world today are in the scriptures as well, else it wouldn't be in the world. So now, first 2 precepts we have here. If you could hold the, you have it? Isaiah 13? Right. So last one. I here, there's the book of Psalms, chapter 7, and reading from verses 11 in the NIV Bible. Power, Yahweh, is a righteous judge, a power who displays his wrath every day. If he does not relent, he will sharpen his sword, and his sword is our weapon. So when you're reading the scriptures, you know it literally will have times you talk about physical swords, but what prophetically, spiritually speaking, what the sword is just a manifestation of a weapon, something used for killing, right? Sharpen his sword, he will bend and string his bow. He has prepared his deadly weapons of mass destruction. He makes ready his flaming arrows. That was Psalms chapter 7 from verse 11 going down to 13 in the NIV Bible. Could go ahead with the precept you had there. You want to read it from the KJV?
I want to take KJV. KJV is really nice too.
Right.
It's Psalm 7 and 11 in KJV. Power judges the righteous, and power is angry with the wicked every day. If he turn not, he will whet his sword, and when he would whet, that is mean to sharpen. He had bent his bow and made it ready. He had also prepared for him the instruments of death. He ordained his arrows against the persecutors.
And I like how we have it in 13. He makes ready his flaming arrows. They say instruments of death. What Oppenheimer would have said, quoted, "Now I am become what?
Death, the destroyer of wars."
And what we know it have a man, which in fact we could reach into all of that. So
The Isaiah already.
So what we wanna go now into Salak, the Isaiah as well, if I could bring that Salak here. Right.
Isaiah 13 and from verse 5. They come from a far country.
They being what? These weapons.
The end of heaven, from the end of heaven, even the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yashai, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Right. So what the Bible definitely speaks about and details these weapons of mass destruction, these ICBMs, these hypersonics, these nuclear missiles are spoken about in the Bible. And ultimately, how we know this? Because of the events we're gonna read to. No, these events could only be the cause of what? Nuclear war and bloodshed. If you could give me Isaiah 9 from verses 5. I hear in Zechariah 14.
The book of Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5.
Right,
For every battle of the warrior
right.
is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood.
So we are accustomed to the old time, the old ways. Where it is we are accustomed to hearing clanging and banging from metal. That is how wars we were used to fight in the old days. But now how these wars gonna fight in these last days?
But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire.
And we're not talking about no arrows, they light on fire as you could see in some of them medieval movies or them animes or whatever you could watch. This burning and fuel of fire is a nuclear fire the Lord speaking about here. And I want to jump down to verses 18.
There's Isaiah 9 jumping on to verse 18.
Right.
For the wickedness burneth as a fire, it shall devour the briars and thorns, and shall kindle in the thickets of the forest, and they shall mount up like the lifting up of smoke.
Like verse 18?
Yeah.
And go ahead to verse 19.
Verse 19. To the wrath of the Lord, Yahweh shall have hosts, is the land darkened, and the people shall be as the fuel of the fire.
Ooh.
No man shall spare his brother.
So come on, what kind of battle or what kind of weapons being used in a battle could cause that? That have to be speaking about the nuclear missiles. Now if you bear with me here, I just want to get the precept from Zechariah
14 and 12.
Yep. Let me see what it's reading in the NIV. That's alright. So the last one could be with me here. The book of Zechariah.
I think you do, you know.
Yeah, go ahead.
Right. The book of Zechariah, chapter 14 and verse 12 in the King James Bible. And this shall be the plague wherewith the Lord, Yahweh Shai, will smite all the people that have fought against Jerusalem. The flesh shall consume away while they stand upon their feet, and their eyes shall consume away in their holes, and their tongue shall consume away in their mouth.
And what we know that have to be speaking to what? Radiation poisoning. And not only that, the actual fire. Again, the brothers always like to point out the when you look at the Terminator movie, how the woman literally the fire blast she.
Hold on to the gate and the fire come and blast you.
Right. What caused that? That the same event Zachariah talking about. Not that exact event in a movie, but that event that you saw displayed in the movie, that you best believe that come into the world. And what the nuclear missiles are gonna cause it, if you could get 2 Peter chapter 3 and verses 10. Verse 10 Salakia.
The book of 2 Peter chapter 3 and verse 10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise,
Right.
and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. The earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up.
Shall be burnt up, God.
Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved,
Clean it and it is
clean dissolved,
right?
What manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness?
So what?
Well, I'm on verse 12.
Okay.
Looking for and hastening unto the coming of the day of power, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat.
So how we know something is there's going to be an event, a biblical prophetic event that is set to happen in the world, that what's gonna cause the literal air you breathe into light on fire. And what is that? That is nuclear missiles. I have one more here for you. I have plenty more of this being detailed throughout scripture. But I just have one more for you because as you see the clean result, right? That exact precept here for you. Isaiah 24 and from verse 18. Sorry, I'll read from verse 17. Isaiah 24 and 17. Fear and the pit and the snare upon thee, O inhabitant of the earth. It shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the so that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. Because if it is continuing Psalms chapter 7, we did read, it talk about the pit, the same pit when you read Psalm chapter 9, the heathen are sunken down in the pit like they made. These nuclear missiles that they are making literally is a snare unto them. Why? Because it's going to be their destruction.
I went back to it here.
Go ahead.
It's 7, I read from
12.
14, got it.
14.
Read 12 right there.
Oh, so like it.
It's 7 and 14. Ye only travaileth with iniquity,
Right.
and had conceived mischief, and brought forth falsehood.
Right.
He made a pit and digged it, and it's fallen into the ditch which he made. So like which he made. His mischief shall return upon his own head, and his violent dealing shall come down upon his own plate. Sorry, upon his own pate.
So come on, that what I was speaking about, that literally prophetically you can tie that to the nuclear missiles. If you jump to chapter 9 and you read verses 16, sorry, verse 16.
Psalms 9 and 16.
Right.
I read from 15 actually.
Right.
The heathen are sunk down in the pit that they made,
Right.
and the net which they hid is their own foot
taken.
taken.
Go ahead.
The Lord is known by the judgment which he executed.
And this is the Lord's judgment. Go ahead.
The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands.
And it's by the work of their hands as well. We're going to get into that.
The guy on Selah. The wicked shall be turned into hell, and all the nations that forget power.
And that is their hell. So, continuing verse 18. I'll read back from the top, and it shall come to pass that
Verse 18, so I can read them.
It's Isaiah 24. Isaiah 24 back to verse 18. And it shall come to pass that he who fleeth from the noise of the fear shall fall into the pit, and he that cometh up out of the midst of the pit shall be taken in the snare. For the windows from on high are open, and the foundations of the earth do shake. An event is going to happen that is going to cause the very foundations of the earth to shake. What is that? And it's funny enough, it even said the windows from on high are open. Lord willing, we get into that precept as well. The Lord shall reign, heading for verses 19 and 20. The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage, and the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. So what? A nuclear event of epic proportions is set to happen at a given day and a given time in the earth. The Bible details this and speaks about this. This is clear. So now, again, you probably know now, but we still had to bring edification on it. Who caused this? Who caused this? Well, Amos 3 and 6 always gives you the answer. If you could bring out our brother.
The book of Amos, chapter 3 and verse 6. So, Amos chapter 3 and verse 6. Shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid?
Right.
Shall there be evil in a city, and the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had not done it? Surely the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai power will do nothing, but he revealeth his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
And it is a secret as to who is going to cause this day. Because plenty of people don't know this day coming. And when this day does come, they're going to say Trump do it. But they're wrong. It was all the work of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's hand. If you could go back to the Isaiah 13 and read verse 4, or read from verse 4. Salakia. I have a precept here for you.
Look at Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 4. The noise of a multitude on a mountain, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together.
Right.
The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai of hosts mustereth the hosts of the battle.
Go ahead, continue.
They come from a far country, from the end of the heaven, even the Lord, and the weapons of his indignation to destroy the whole land.
Go ahead.
Holy, for the day of the Lord is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty.
Go ahead.
Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrows shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames.
Read verse 9.
Behold, the day of the Lord cometh, cruel both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it.
Bang. So what? The Lord. This is all the work of the Lord's hand. I have two precepts here for you. The book of Isaiah 34 and from verse 4. And all the hosts of heaven shall be dissolved, and the heavens shall be rolled together as a scroll, and all their hosts shall fall down as a leaf falleth from off the vine, and as a fallen fig from the fig tree, which is speaking about what the nuclear destruction is going to look like. For my sword, and Salak, should I really read the heading as well? The sword of the Lord, it has it here headed in the KJV. The sword of the Lord, verse 5. For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. So I bring the bathed in heaven. I can't remember what precept I read. Or the windows somewhat higher open. And when the Lord would have flooded the earth, he opened the windows some heaven, and then water came out, right? So what we know beyond that heaven that we see up there, that sky, that barrier, that firmament, we know it are waters up there in the Hebrew Shemayim. The missiles that you're going to touch those waters, right? For my sword shall be bathed in heaven. Behold, it shall come down upon Idumea and upon the people of my curse to judgment. The sword of the Lord, Yahweh, is filled with blood. It is made fat with fatness, and with the blood of lambs and goats, and with the fat of kidneys of rams. With the fat of kidneys of rams, for Yahweh Bashem Yahushai had a sacrifice in Bozrah, and a great slaughter in the land of Idumea. So what we know, the Lord definitely responsible for the events that are gonna cause this nuclear destruction. If you could give me Jeremiah 50.
Verse 25.
Verse 25, because who weapons are these, right? These weapons are the Lord's really. Even though his men's hands gonna touch the buttons, we know ultimately it's the Lord gonna cause it.
Yeah, and get Isaiah 54 and 16.
Yeah, that's self the page on.
Yeah, pa.
And I
read that first.
Listen, I want here as well. In fact, I'll go read that and I could go to the next one. Isaiah 54 and verse 16. Behold, I have created the smith that brought the coals in the fire. That bring
so he gave him the wisdom, the knowledge, and the understanding to do these such acts.
Right.
Great.
To make these weapons of mass destruction. That bringeth forth an instrument for his work, and I have created the waster to destroy.
And we know that is a big part of Yamri, because it is Jeremiah 50 and 25.
Right.
The Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, had opened his armory and brought forth the weapons of his indignation. For this is the work of the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, power of hosts.
This is the work of Yahweh. Yep, go ahead.
In the land of the Chaldeans.
In the land of the Chaldeans. So we know who's responsible for these events. It's Yahweh. I want here for you the Revelation 16.
That's 17.
It's not. It's 16 or 19 or 17 and 16, I believe. Well, 16 and 19 as well, and the great, well, that is actually could be for our next point, next video.
Well, tonight I
But
would say is Revelation 17 and
16.
16, and the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hit the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire.
Yep.
For power had put in their hearts to fulfill his will, and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of power shall be fulfilled.
So what the word of power is what to lay the land desolate. Which is Proverbs 21:1. The Lord had made all things, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. And what? Funny enough, you say the day of evil, or funny enough, I say the day of evil. That is what the day these events gonna culminate and take place on. There's literally a day in scripture for that.
And in Proverbs 21:1, you read. Proverbs 21:1, the king's heart is in the hand of the Lord Yahweh.
Right.
As the rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will.
Right, yes, a lot. And we know the kings of the earth is the ones going to press the buttons. I can't remember, I think like Proverbs 16:24. I'll get out real quick. Just to say the correct precept. The day of evil.
Yes, Proverbs 16:4.
16:4.
Yeah, 16:4.
We'll go read it. Yep.
Let's see. Proverbs 16:4. The Lord Yahweh Shad made all things for himself, yea, even the wicked for the day of evil.
He make all of these things. He make it. Right? So we understand the Lord responsible for causing these weapons to even exist in the first place. Now, what we also want to know is what? The day. Because what? For the day of evil, right? There's a day that all of these events are set to take place. As the brother, what I read is Isaiah 13, you know, read? I talk about the day of the Lord. There's a day in scripture where we can refer to and say what these are the days. That day, that time is definitely when these events gonna take place, where those missiles are gonna be shut off.
Okay, if you want to go into the word day in the online etymology, I believe it is in the my sword you will see, and into the word day, it's see what a period of time.
Right.
Anytime you see day, they're all talking about one singular solitary day, like Jacob's shot. They say the day of Jacob's shot. Well, it's a period of time when Jacob gonna be fucked up. One soul solitary day. Because you can see the house of Jacob too great anyway for all of this to take place in a day. That ain't making sense.
And what? Even with that, if you really watch it, they really have one soul solitary day that all the missiles gonna be shut off.
Because the scripture say what but an hour.
Yep, in 1 hour is she made desolate. So the day, right? When are these missiles gonna be launched? We can't tell you the exact day as in the date, like day, month, year. We don't know.
January the 27th, 2027. Can you get that?
Can't get that. But what we know is literally it have a day that this is known as or referred to in the scriptures, the Revelation. So that God.
Because we know all of this even happened, all the prophecies had to be fulfilled. So we will measure the time using the prophecies. Scripture said that my second is just one way.
Measure all the time diligently in of itself, and when thou seest part of the signs come to pass, then thou would have known that I have told you of these things well before it was going to happen.
And there were these are many days in world when the Most High shall be came to visit the world in which he
made it correct. So what? Lovely that I bring out that, because what we know this day is going to be as a culmination of a date that was spoken about in Revelation, the Revelation 11 and verse 14. I'll read from verse 13. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, so the same earthquake, this great shaking in the land, blah, 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 which we were referring to earlier, what causing these events. And the 10th part of the city fell, and the earthquake, and in the earthquake was slain of men 7,000, so a complete number of men were killed. And the remnant were frightened and gave glory to the power of heaven.
The remnant being what the ones that get taken up. If we read that verse up.
Verse 12. Well, that could be a point we get into later. We get started with that. Verse 14, because what? This day what we speaking about and referring to, that is a day known as what? Which we're gonna give the identity um, just now. But what? It's gonna be as a culmination of this event that is being spoken about here. Revelation 11:14. The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly.
So to the word war, that means destruction.
Right?
So the second destruction has passed, and behold, the third one cometh quickly.
And what the culmination of that destruction that we're speaking about is what? The day in which these missiles are gonna be shut off. When is this gonna happen? They are in Revelation 20 and 14. If you could give me, but if you have something,
Nah, that will be found next week.
yeah, we give me second Ezra 6 and 1 verses 7. I hear the Revelation 20 and 14.
Second of the 6 7s, right?
Yeah, go ahead.
Read that first.
Yeah, no, so like, let me see. Revelation 20:14, I know, see. I'll read this, and then you can go ahead with that here. Oh, you have it in the right, you have it in the bad translation. They are Revelation 20:14. Huh?
So you have part translation.
Yeah, can't water. Revelation 20:14, and death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. He is as death and as hell, and cannot be satisfied. This is the second death. So when are these missiles going to be launched? And what is this day and event known as? Well, the identity of it is second death, and we know when this is going to happen. It's going to happen at the culmination of World War III. They could go ahead. Our next identity, our next place and time we could place when this event is going to happen.
Is second is just 6 and 7 in your New English Bible.
Right.
Tell me, I went on about the interval that divides the ages. When will the first age end and the next age begin? He said the interval will be no bigger than that between Abraham and Abraham. For Jacob and Esau were his descendants, and Jacob's hand was first grasping Esau's heel at the moment of their birth.
Right.
Esau represents the end of the first age, and Jacob the beginning of the next age.
So what the end of Esau's age is actually when this event is gonna happen, because this is gonna signal the end of his age. If I could give
And Apostle Tano said expect to be out of here in 2026, if not 2026, somewhere in 2027.
2 years time, this year, next year. So what the end of Esau time coming? And this event, when these nuclear missiles are shut off, these weapons of the Lord are shut off and are gonna be used, that is when. Oh, sorry, that is what identity. That is when we could look. Yep, identify when we could look for this. If we could get my second as well 7:43 by Wakasha.
The book of second Ezra chapter 7 and verse 43. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, at the beginning of the immortality for to come, when corruption is past.
Right, so what?
Intemperance is at an end.
Yep.
Infidelity is cut off. Righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up.
Ooh. So come on, day of doom shall be the end of this time. That's a perfect. You wanna read any in any V or any B?
Any B.
Any
Because
B.
I think. Yes, yeah, because into the word doom, that would just mean judgment. And when we read a different translation, it say that. The second is 7:43 in your New English Bible.
Right.
But the day of judgment will be the end of this present world
Ooh.
and the beginning of the eternal world to come, showing you that war. When you see the word world, sometimes it means time, and when you see word time, sometimes it means world. Can you read it just on the regular, I'll call this what the King James Apocrypha.
Right.
When you read in the regular King James Apocrypha,
It said the day of doom shall be the end of this time and the beginning of the immortality.
immortality to come, and as we tell the same world training that war. Every time you see the word world, they're talking about the planet.
If you could give Matthew 24.
But we finish this here.
Oh yeah, more there.
Second is just 7:43 from top again in New English Bible. But the day of judgment will be the end of the present world and the beginning of the eternal world to come. A world in which corruption will be over, all excess abolished,
and unbelief uprooted, in which justice will be full grown and truth will have risen like the sun. On the day of judgment thereof, so that therefore there can be no mercy for the man who has lost his case, but reversal for the man who has won it.
Ooh, come on, and that's gonna be so yappa when we get into, as I said, that points in this we could make, but yo, we bring it out for our next video.
Can.
Right? If we could get that Matthew 24, right? Because what next key thing to know about this day, it will be the day our Lord returns. We know that for a fact. I just want to
to
read
be
this.
honest, he can't come back with all this.
Mm-hmm.
He won't. He won't come back with all this.
I have two things here for you. They Joel 1 and 15. Alas, for the day. In fact, I want to read the heading Salakia. The heading here in the KJV, destruction from Yahweh. Alas, for the day of Yahweh is at hand, and a destruction from the Almighty shall it come. And when you jump down to chapter 2, the heading, the dark day of Yahweh, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, and sound an alarm in mine holy mountain, let all inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand. Right, so what? Tremble for the day of Yahweh cometh, for it is nigh at hand, right? A day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, which this going into our next point we're gonna make later on in the video. But what? The day of the Lord is a dark day, and it is the day of the Lord. If you could give me that in Matthew 24.
The book of Matthew 24 and verse 27 for as the lightning cometh out of the east and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
Right.
For wheresoever the carcass is, there will be the eagles, there will the eagles be gathered together.
Right.
Immediately after the tribulation of those days, shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars.
But sun be dark and moon not give her light. We now reading in Joel, the dark day of the Lord, the day of darkness, of thick darkness, of gloominess. Right? Go ahead.
And the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven, and then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory.
So what the day in which all men will mourn is the day in which the Lord comes back. And why will all men mourn?
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and he putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the door.
And what's so yapa about that? If you could give me Revelation 14 from verses 9 and 10. Why? Because the culmination of the judgment, which could be a point for our next thing, explaining why these events going to take place and where these events going to take place. Because we have not gone into that. That is for our next video. The Son of Man has to be present on the earth to witness this. He has to be there. Go ahead.
Revelation 14 and 9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of Yahweh, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb.
So we know the events that this talking about, that these missiles going to cause, the Son of Man going to be there to witness it. And that is what so that is the day of his return. So what? When are these missiles going to be launched? At the culmination of World War III, Revelation, if you find it. Not telling you to go for it, but if you read Revelation, the day of Armageddon,
Yeah, I am.
it talk about it our way, the multitudes in the valley of decision for the days near the valley of decision. It have Zephaniah 3 and 9, 3 and 9 or 3 and 8. No, 3 and 8. You talk about you're gonna gather them in the valley of Yehoshaphat. All these things, all of that speaking about when these missiles gonna be launched and what the events surrounding the missiles being launched. We know what day this gonna happen. We just don't know the exact date because even the Son of Man would say, "Save only the Father in heaven." No man knows. We have it. The Armageddon. Go ahead.
It's Revelation 16. So like I finish your point you were saying.
Yeah, so like just to say we
Maybe
know
some,
only the only person who exists in creation, you know, even in creation, but the only being that exists that knows when Yahweh is coming back here is the Creator Yahweh. Anybody else that can't get that information, they get that a lie because not even the Son of Man himself knows when he's coming back here.
And what he tells the disciples, what I will tell you all things.
Right, so what?
So if he tell them that, I mean, he himself even know.
Right, so he can't even tell us. So, knowing that, we just know that when this does happen, he's going to be there. So what? We know when this is gonna happen. We just literally don't know when. What we know in part, we prophesy in part. We can tell you part of the prophecy, but we can't tell you the whole thing. So what? If you could read that, then you just have 2 more points to finish off.
Yeah, there's Revelation 16, I read from 15. Behold, I come as a thief. Lest he see that watch it and keep it his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame.
Right.
And he gathered them together into a place in the Hebrew called Armageddon.
Or Armageddon.
That one. And the seventh angel poured out his vial into the air, and there came a great voice out of the temple of heaven from the throne, saying, "It is done."
Ooh, so
well, okay, that more.
Right.
There were voices and thunders and lightnings, and there was a great earthquake, such as what not since men were upon the earth, so mighty an earthquake and so great.
So what? Come on. This going down, and we know what day it's going down. We know what day is known as. We know why it's gonna happen. Where it's gonna be the culmination of. We know all of these things. What else we know? We know there is gonna be salvation from this day. But in fact, even before we get to that, I just want to make one more point. As I was reading Joel, because I was going to go down deep into it, and I say I could call it off our next point. The missiles have code names. You know,
throughout these scriptures, the missiles are code names known as bows.
Well, as in Revelation, if you could get
Number 6.
6.
Which one you wanted?
Well, you could go with 6, but I wanted as it is 16. And from 17, but you could go ahead with what you had it too, because I have it here in Joel.
Revelation 6, I read from 1. I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals,
Right.
and I heard as it were a noise of thunder.
Right.
One of the 4 beasts saying, "Come and see." I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow,
Right.
and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering to conquer. When you read Revelation 6, I had a precept at one time, the second is just 15. My
16.
apology, second is just 16. My apology, second is 16 from verse 3. The second is just 16 from verse 3. Sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back?
Right, so what one code name is that sword?
The plagues are, say, fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Next
Fire.
code name. Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away?
Plagues.
Zechariah 14 and 12.
14, 12, that plague.
May any man drive away an hungry lion in the wood, or may anyone quench a fire in the stubble, or when it had begun to burn. May one turn again the arrow that is shot of a strong archer.
And what we know that strong archer is Yahweh. He have the bow, Revelation 6 tell you.
And where's that archer with a bow but no arrows? Come on.
Come on.
The mighty Lord sendeth the plagues, and who is he that can drive them away? If fire shall go forth from his wrath, and who is he that may quench it? He shall cast lightnings, and who shall not fear? He shall thunder, and who shall not be afraid?
Right.
The Lord shall threaten, and who shall not be utterly beaten to powder at his presence? The earth quaketh, and the foundations thereof
do languish.
The sea ariseth up with waves from the deep, and the waves of it are troubled, and the fishes thereof also before the Lord, and before the glory of his power. For strong is his right hand, and bendeth the bow.
Who's the right hand?
Yahushai. I sit at the right hand of the Father. His arrows that he shooteth are sharp and shall not miss, when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world.
What arrow could be shot into the ends of the world?
Because we know Yahushai is strong. Come on.
But what? Even because even Isaiah 13, even the Lord and the weapons of his indignation from one end of heaven to destroy the whole land. So what? Our next clue. It have to be speaking about the nukes. That arrow is the nukes, right?
But when you watch this picture we have up here,
ooh,
when you watch a missile, it doesn't look like an arrow. When it flying at hypersonic speed, it looks like an arrow.
So come on, that arrow they have to be talking about the nukes. Code names, go ahead.
Behold the second verse 16 and 14. Behold the plagues are sent, and shall not return again until they come upon the earth. The fire is kindled, and shall not be put out, till it consume the foundation of the earth. Like as an arrow which is shot of a mighty archer, return it not backward. Even so, the plagues that shall be sent upon the earth shall not return again. Because that is spirit day. In the scripture, I say the angels don't fail. And that was the first weapon we talk about. Angels don't fail. The angels gonna actually be in these missiles, guiding them to ensure they hit the intended target, which will be our topic for next week.
And what? Give me if you could give me now Isaiah 14 and 23. Because even more. In fact, that don't think of our next precept, and as I say, topic for our next video. We go bring you too much. Just have one more precept as well, that the Isaiah 14, I enjoy too. Go ahead.
Well, the Isaiah 14 first?
Yeah, go ahead.
The Isaiah 14 and 23. I will also make it a possession for the bitter and pools of water. I will sweep it with the besom of destruction, say the Lord Abashimishad hosts. And into the word besom, there is a broom. You know that broom sweep up dust, you see the
dust kick up?
The dust kick up and the kind of breeze will be
right?
That is what's going to happen. And a breeze gonna blow away the topic for the next video.
Because if there is one more comment on my head before the Job. He shall strike him through. If they could get out himself from that. Job 23. Job 23 or Job 20. It's one on 32. Or look in 20.
20, 23.
23, go ahead with that.
Yeah, they tell you Job 20 and 23 and he's about to fill his belly, for I shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. I shall rain it upon him while he's eating. He shall flee from the iron weapon,
and the bow of steel
shall strike him through.
Go ahead, verse
25.
25, go ahead.
It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him.
They are precept. I feel like we had to bring back in the next part, but go ahead.
All darkness shall be hidden in secret places. A fire not blown shall consume it. The spirit of fire not blown, got fire that gotta be kindled. But with the intelligence the Lord give these men, you don't need to kindle a fire no more. You put 2 elements together and bam. 3, 4 elements together and bam. All the elements in now.
Wait is they split the atom?
Split the atom, you kidding me? Don't just split the atom, come on. All darkness shall be, Job 20 and 26, all darkness shall be hidden in secret places. A fire not blown shall consume him, and shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle.
Oh, good, and what we hope is the year 2026 this happen. But, anyhow, just reading Joel 2 now, and we just have one more point on the close. Reading Joel 2 from verses 2 again, a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains, a great people and a strong, there had not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. So these weapons never gonna exist when they done use with it,
Because
they
that
shall
is-
learn war no more.
I thought that the scripture in Ezekiel, I think it's 39 or 36. Or Ezekiel 36, 37, 38 or 39, when it's they are gathered together, all the things will so you don't make and burn it. Can't remember what that scripture is.
Verse
Go ahead,
3.
I'll see if I can find it.
Yeah.
If I can.
Verse 3, a fire devoured before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as a garden of Eden before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness, yea, and nothing shall escape them. So what? They likening the missiles here to what? A army. The appearance of them, verse 4, is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen so shall they run. Like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoured the stubble, and as a strong people set in battle array. Before their face the people shall be much pained, all faces shall gather blackness. They shall run like mighty men, they shall climb the wall like men of war, they shall march every one on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. So what the I think what it is called, the GPS system, the missile guidance system. I can't remember what it is called, but what? And I believe that is Revelation 9.
Maybe I get it, what I want to.
Yeah, but
is,
what this one I was also saying from their missile guidance system.
Messiah guidance is a Revelation 9.
Yeah, no, but what I mean, that's how it said they shall not break their ranks, right? Yeah, so they shall not break their ranks. That can't be talking about no normal army, because no normal army capable of that, no army of men, right? They shall not, like men of war, and they shall march everyone on his way, and they shall not break their ranks. Neither shall one thrust another, they shall walk every one on his path. When they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. So this can't be talking about men. They shall run to and fro in the city, they shall run up the wall, they shall climb upon the houses, they shall enter in at the windows like a thief. The earth shall quake before them, the heaven shall tremble, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executed his word. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide in it? Which brings me to my next point here. Who can? Also, like that one there? Go ahead.
Is Ezekiel 9 and 9.
Mm-hmm.
And they that dwell in the cities of Israel shall go forth and shall set on fire and burn the weapons, both the shields and the bucklers, the bows and the arrows, and the hand staves and the spears, and they shall burn them with fire 7 years, so that they shall take no wood out of the field, neither cut down any out of the forest, for they shall burn the weapons with fire, and they shall spoil those that spoil them, and rob those that rob them, say the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yoshai of hosts.
So these weapons never going to be in use again, because these weapons going to be used up. And these will be speaking to the guns and things in these times. These things will be melted and destroyed. And the missiles, all of them are going to be used, and we'll get the breakdown for that in another video. But what just to add back again, 2 and verses 11 in Joel. And the Lord shall utter his voice before his army, for his camp is very great. For he is strong that executed his word. For the day of Yahweh is great and very terrible, and who can abide in it? Which leads me to our last point we could make in this video. Who can abide in it? How are you going to make it out of this destruction if you find yourself in it? Well, if you could go back to that second Ezra 16 and read verses 17.
Read book of 2nd Ezra 16 verse 17. Woe is me, woe is me.
And remember that same second Ezra 16 is now reading about the whole nuclear war that's gonna happen.
Who will deliver me in those days?
Who is going to deliver me in those days? Because you're gonna you're gonna need to be delivered in those days, because you're not getting out by anything you do. You're not gonna get out by anything you do. Again in Matthew 24, you shall gather together his elect from the four winds of heaven. They Job 5 and 19, for ye shall deliver thee. They Job 5:19, he shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touched, do you remember Amos 3 and 6? Shall there be evil done in the city, and the Lord had not done it, the evil that is coming. He's going to have to deliver you out of it, he being Yahweh. Again, what that sixth trouble, because what? That seventh trouble could be the culmination of Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30 and verses 7. If you could go, you had the Revelation 18 you went to it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Revelation, the Revelation 11 out here. Revelation 11 and after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from power entered into them.
Right.
And they stood upon their feet, and great fear fell upon them which saw them.
Right.
And it's referring to the northern and southern kingdom getting back in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to preach and prophesy.
Right.
And there is a reward here at verse 12. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, come up hither. And they ascended up into heaven in a cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And precept in that one time in Revelation 18 and verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come up out of her, my people. You know, he people is the Israelites, the elect of the nation of Israel.
Right.
Matthew 26, so 2 and 6 study that. Shall be a governor, shall rule my people Israel.
That Micah 5 too.
Micah
2 and 6 is fulfillment of that.
Come out of, so that Revelation 18 and 4, and I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that to be the partakers of her sins, and that to receive not of her plagues.
It's Psalms 91, and I'm going to close with this. Read Psalms 91 from verses 3. Surely he shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noise and pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by night, nor the arrow that flieth by day, nor the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor the destruction that wasteth at noonday. He hath created the waster to destroy. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made Yahweh, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. There shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. So there is salvation set from the events that are going to happen at the event of this day, that's speaking about these weapons that the Lord has. And Lord willing, this lesson was edifying, and that we were edifying, and that we do understand the third part of our 4-part weapons of the Lord series, being what this third weapon that the Lord has is nuclear missiles. In closing, we like to say, Kal Halal Hawa, Basham Yahushai, Basham Rakha Kodash. Like to give double honors, double on to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who surely do rule well. To the men standing by the highways and byways pushing this doctrine, we like to say Shalom. And even unto the sincere Aqua, the sisters who sit listening to us in silence, subjection and obedience unto their husbands, we say Shalom. This was your brothers, Wa Maya Shahala, and until next time, we like to say Shalom.